Okay, this story is from 1991, sometime late in the year, probably in late December. I had just come home from the Persian Gulf War. I was in the Marine Corps. I was 19 years old. I was headed back to Long Island from the barracks. At the time I was married and my son was about 6 months old. We got to the Jersey Turnpike exit for the Goethals-Verrazano Bridge, and we got a flat. The passenger side rear tire went flat. I paid the toll. I went through the toll. I drove all the way down to the right-hand side as far as I could get away from the toll plaza, pulled all the way over to the right, and I started changing the tire. Sometime after that, it's about midnight as well, a limo pulls through the toll plaza and some people get out. And to tell you how long ago it was, there was a bank of payphones just on the other side of the toll plaza, and the people who got out of the limo were kind of milling around the payphones. So a few minutes later, three guys start to walk down from where the limo is. They got out of the limo, now they're walking down my way, and probably about 250 feet away from the toll plaza. And the way it looks is kind of a hill, and then it flattens out then as a guardrail. So it's so narrow there between the hill and the guardrail, they had to walk single file. And like I said, it's about midnight, and they're walking all the way from where they got out of their limo, all the way down to what looks like one guy changing a tire. So as they approach me, I realize there's three of them. But the mindset I had back then, just coming home from the Gulf War was, it doesn't matter. I had a gun in the car. I had a .44 Magnum Super Blackhawk, and I had a tire iron. So as I'm changing the tire, I realize they come right up on me, and my back is right to the guardrail. So I stop what I'm doing. I turn around. There's a guy right behind me with his leg up, his foot on top of the guardrail, and he's leaning down on his knee. And when I stand up, we're about this far away from each other. Now the guy averted his eyes when I turned around and faced him, but to his friend standing behind him, it looked like he was staring at me, but he really looked off to his right. And we were there for maybe 5 or 6 seconds, and when he averted his eyes, I realized this guy's not game. He's not ready for what is about to happen. And I turned back around and went back to what I was doing, just finishing up changing the tire. And I said to myself, when the action starts, this tire iron is going through the top of that guy's head, try to cut his head in half, so the people behind him, the two guys behind him, will be stuck looking at that spectacle for a moment while I grab my firearm, and if they're game enough, I'm going to kill them too. And nothing happens. Not a word was said the whole time as they were coming down to me, because people have asked when I've told them this, would you think they were coming down to help you change a tire? No, they would have driven down or yelled, hey, you need help? And this guy's right behind me. I'm talking about right up on me. We're this close when I turn around. They walk away without saying a word. I finished up. I go to get in the car. Now, my son was 6 months old in a car seat in the back, and I was married at the time. My wife was next to him now, and she's holding the gun. And I took it away from her. But she was sitting in the car looking right at this guy who's facing my back. She's staring right at his face the whole time, and the two guys behind him. She said, I was going to break the glass, and I said, with that gun, you don't know how to break the glass. I said, anyway, I put the gun away. And not to lead her in any direction, I'm about to leave, and I said, who was that guy? I knew who it was. When I'm looking at him, I knew who this guy was now. She said, that was Marky Mark. He was known by Marky Mark then, not Mark Wahlberg. And I said, I knew it. He's got a lazy eye, Mark Wahlberg. And I could see right up on him what he looked like. And, I'm thankful that nothing happened, because in reality, he saved my life. Because he was going to die, for sure. Maybe the other two guys, one of the guys would have got to me, maybe, but I doubt it. But had that happened, I would never see my son grow up. My grandparents, who I loved dearly, who raised me, they would have died while I was in jail, and my life would have been ruined. But since nothing happened, I went on to have a career as a police officer, and I've been retired now for 10 years. He went on to have a monstrous career, and he has a family, and I recently heard, and the reason I'm telling this story publicly now is because he said that he's, found faith and he's changing his life, and I'm happy for him because he has a family and he's had the career that he's had. But that night, Mark Wahlberg and I were this close, and I knew what was going to happen if he made a move, and thankfully he didn't. So that's the story about how Mark Wahlberg saved my life while saving his own.